Helping people is what I'm all about. Just don't expect any good results.
You got a study back home? Because my exquisite derriere might make you say otherwise.
Don't expect me to fight the power without creating a scene.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Housewives of River Heights. My name is Jade Gregory, and with me today I have Tina.
Hey, how's it going, my little doves?
And we have Nikki.
Hey guys.
And today we're going to be talking about Nancy Drew's Stay Tuned for Danger.
We are all in-house. All three of us only.
Just
Yes.
the three of us. Alright, just a spoiler warning for everyone and not safe for work. There will be swearing, there will be spoilers of the game if you haven't played it yet. And just a quick introduction of our game for today. We are on game number 2 of the Nancy Drew point-and-click adventure by Her Interactive. It was released on November 13, 1999. It was officially discontinued in 2011, and then it was re-released in 2016, so that way it could work on newer gaming systems. It is based off of one of the many wonderful Nancy Drew books, has the same title, that was released in 1987.
So I like to point out that there are two key diversions in the plot from the book to the game, which I think are pretty interesting. The first one is that in the book, there is a love triangle between Dwayne, Maddie, and Rick, which is, I think, alluded to in the game, but not outright said, which I thought was interesting. And the second thing, which I personally think is hilarious, is in the game, Nancy walks in on a bomb in Rick's dressing room. This doesn't happen in the book. In the book, Nancy actually walks in on Bess and Rick making out.
That's right, I remember that, yeah, in the book, she walks in on
Which is
Bess.
incredible. And I understand why that wasn't in the game, obviously, but like I just think it's funny that they substituted that with a bomb.
Yeah, okay, so before we proceed, you just gave me some new information, and I feel like I need to take a shot at soju right now. Be right back. But yeah, about Rick, I have a lot of things to say about Rick, and we will get to that. But let's just say that this man needs to be stopped.
Cancel Rick Arlen.
Rick Arlen needs to be stopped.
Yes. Alright, to start us off, we're going to talk about the plot. The plot for this is actually quite basic. It's just Nancy Drew is invited to New York City to stay with Maddie Jensen, a popular soap opera star. Maddie wants Nancy to investigate the death threats that her co-star Rick Arlen has been receiving throughout the game. Nancy discovers each character has a motive for threatening Rick, which I think is pretty cool, that like almost every single one is. But that's kind of also similar to the first game.
Yes, but I think that in this game, the motives are a little more. I think they make more sense to me than in the first game, because I think that in this game, people have more believable reasons for hating Rick than some of the characters had for hating Jake, or at least ones that would make more sense to want to murder someone than in the first game.
Yeah, definitely.
I had the opposite thoughts. I thought that maybe that's just me being drunk and not understanding the plot or anybody's motives. But I felt like in the first game, they had more reasons to kill Jake than people now wanting to kill Rick. And I feel like jealousy is just not a good enough reason, or I don't know. Can someone explain to me, like, okay, before I speak any further, maybe Jade, you should explain what are the motives. Then I'll see if I'm changing my mind. But based on my first impression,
I was just about to do that.
Yeah, yeah. We can cut all this thing out.
Oh, no, you're good. No, you're good. That was a perfect segue, because I was just about to say I do have the motives written down if we'd like to hear them.
Yes.
All right. So, for Maddie Jensen, she used to date Rick, but he dumped her in order to date Lillian. She went on a date with her agent Dwayne, but it's evident she still has feelings for Rick. So her motive isn't really other than a jilted lover.
Did Maddie date Dwayne in the game or just the book? Because I don't think it's mentioned in the game that Maddie and Dwayne ever dated.
I didn't catch that in the game.
I didn't catch it in the game, but according to what I read, it says that she went to date her agent. And this is on the Wikipedia page, so I don't know if they're basing that off the book or in the game.
I don't remember that being mentioned in the game,
Neither do I.
but I don't know. I could have missed it, but I'm pretty sure it's not in there.
All right. Yeah, I have no idea. We'll have to. That's
We'll
something
have
we
to
can complain
see.
about. Yeah, we'll have to see. All right, next person I have written down is Rick Arlen as being his own reason is he wanted to move out to Hollywood to pursue work in films, but because of his reputation with the ladies and his disloyalty with his contract, he is causing people to gossip. So like a theory there that he's sabotaging himself so he can get out of his contract. Dwayne Powers was jealous of Rick's success as an actor and the fact that Maddie still cared for him. Was what I saw. Also, the fact that, Rick, that was his agent, and then Rick decided to, do his own things. Then we have Millie Strathorn, who, spoiler alert, is my favorite character. Millie Strathorn sometimes confuses reality and fiction, believed that everything happening on the show is real, and because she hated Rick's character, she hated him, so she submitted story plot lines that killed him off the show. She submitted storylines that killed him off of the show to the writers. However, they never included any of her stories in it. Lillian Wise, she dated Rick for a short period of time. She felt that he was only using her to advance his career, so she sent some bitter threats to him, including the poison chocolates and the angry love poem. However, when he started receiving additional threats, she began to investigate. Or did she? Dun, dun, dun. William Pappas was afraid that Rick was leaving the show and that would cause low ratings and potential cancellation. He was also furious that Rick broke his contract.
Okay, so upon hearing all of this, I am still not convinced that enough people have good motives to do this all to Rick. Well, maybe the threatening notes, maybe some bad chocolate, stuff to fuck with him. I can deal with that, but to threaten his life, as leaving a bomb in his room, a bomb that actually explodes. I'm sorry, but that is just overkill. I don't think that him dumping Maddie and breaking her heart is a good enough reason to blow him up, or some jealousy from Dwayne about him being acclaimed as an actor, or even Millie, she hates Rick's character, Rory, but that's just also not a good reason for that. So, and Lillian also, she's kind of bitch from A to Z, from the beginning to the end. She's just a bitch, but even she doesn't have a good enough reason to want to blow up Rick.
No, I think that it's for, all of the threats and stuff, it's basically for revenge, right? So I feel like all the characters in the game have a reason to want revenge on Rick. And I think I could see how at least some of the characters might be driven to murder. Because I think that, being like a bitter ex or something like that, that anger could fester inside someone. And I could see how like that could turn into like a murderous rage. So I don't know. I feel like everyone has a believable motive to want revenge on Rick, which is why I feel like their motives are more believable to me than in the previous game.
That is not my experience, because this sounds very soap opera-ish.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it's supposed to be.
yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. This is to parallel with some soap opera. It is. I get it. It is possible that someone could be angry at an ex so much that they would want kill kill their ex. It could happen, but it is very unbelievable if Rick hasn't done something really bad towards them, like super bad. And so far, all I got from Rick is that he's just a dick. He's a he's a womanizing dick. That's it. And he dumped both of these women. Yes, he used them, but it's like he hasn't done anything that bad, as in my opinion. And also, none of them sound or look like they are competent enough to build a homemade bomb in their basement. It's
I
like,
mean, you never
where
know.
did they get?
You never know.
I mean, well, yeah, you never know. Some maybe making a bomb is easier than we thought. I would like to see a tutorial on how to make a bomb on YouTube.
Don't let the
I hear the
FBI
cops
find
knocking
that
on your
out.
door. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I hear them knocking now.
So yeah, that's just me. I just think that Rick hasn't done enough to warrant this kind of response towards him. I can see the hate. I can understand the hate, but to go so far as to cut out pieces in magazines, letters, and just put them together, send bad chocolate and all of that. This is a lot of hatred, but like, what has he really done? Really, what has he really done? He just used you and dumped you. Move on. Just saying.
True, I guess. I guess it's like I can see how someone would. I mean, obviously, like, yeah, it's not realistic because this is supposed to be kind of soap opera-y. So within the
Yeah.
context of that, it makes sense to have characters who are so bitter about something like that.
Yeah, like you definitely have like at least 3 very bitter. Actually, well, 4. I guess Millie's bitter, but very bitter women in Rick's life. But you also got Dwayne there. He's a little.
So, spoiler alert: the culprit is Dwayne Powers. We did say there'd be spoilers, so I think I can just go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
It's interesting because 2 out of the 4 or 5 suspects have a kind of romantic motive, like as in like they dated Rick. But the some of the threats seem like it seems like it's like the person clearly hates Rick, but it, to me, felt like they also kind of had feelings for Rick. So so it feels to me like Dwayne had a little bit of a crush on Rick because like that poem that he writes him, I'm like, this is kind of romantic. Like,
Well,
it's a Shakespeare love sonnet that he rewrites to be like, how much do I hate thee? But I'm like, this has kind of an undertone to it.
well, I do think it is Lillian who writes the angry love poem.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
No,
So
you're good.
that checks out.
Lillian's the one who sent the poison chocolates in the angry love poem.
Okay.
But to be honest, though, there is still a big possibility that Rick and Dwayne had a fling. I wouldn't be
it's
surprised.
possible.
Dwayne
to
is
be
jealous of
honest.
Rick.
Yeah, Dwayne could have bitter ex energy. I could see it.
Well, apparently, this is going into the characters, but Dwayne is a failed actor who knew Maddie and Rick from their earlier days.
Right.
In theater camp. So I think he's just, when you meet him, you could tell he's just really jealous, really bitter, very like, that should have been me, but it's him, and he can't even act, and he can't even do this, and he can't even do that. And it's not the best motive, but
Dwayne gives a lot of if we're gonna be talking about exes that were fooled by this man, we should talk about Dwayne. Dwayne was fooled by Rick by his good looks. Like
Yeah.
Dwayne called Rick a blonde-haired, blue-eyed fool.
Yes.
And kept telling us that Rick got ahead in his career because of his good looks. Uh, I mean, am I? Well, we can't be the only one who noticed this. Like, Dwayne has a lot of energy, hatred energy towards Rick, but if you read between the lines, this is really coming off as this man really fooled me with his good looks. I can't believe I fell for it. I
Mhm.
can't believe I fell for him.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
no.
I mean, we'll go more into Dwayne when we get to the character section, but yes.
Yeah.
Aren't we already there?
No, we
You know
haven't. We're
what?
still on plot.
You know what? We've already gotten to Dwayne. We might as well talk about the rest of the characters. But yeah, we could totally segue into the characters, and we can start with Maddie Jensen since she is related to Dwayne in a way.
Maddie, and honestly, all the women in this game, I find it kind of problematic how they were portrayed. I mean, maybe I am seeing or reading too much between the lines, but I'm not vibing with any of the characters, especially the women there, because it seems that they were portrayed as bitter women whose lives are affected by men, or their lives turn around men. It's like even Lillian, who's our quote unquote girl boss, even she turned out to have been fooled by Rick. She turned out to have a lot of bitterness towards Rick, and her character is now centered all around her bitterness over her ex, just like Maddie, but maybe a different vibe. She is a bit more rude. She's a bit more angry towards us for absolutely no reason, but all the women, the way they are portrayed, it's like their lives is now ruined by this man. And I don't know, I just don't like where it went with this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Lillian is the biggest example of that. With Maddie, she has this weird, like, oh, Rick isn't actually that bad energy. Like,
Yeah.
when we first talk to her, like, and we find out that Maddie and Rick dated, she's like, no, like, Rick's a good guy. Like, he's not a player like that, even though Rick dumped her for Lillian. But she kind of keeps making these excuses like, no, he's a good guy. He's not like what you think. But he is, because we see firsthand by talking to him what a slimeball he is. So I just thought that was really interesting.
She's kind of that female character who, like, is still madly in love with the main character and will stand up for him no matter what, and will praise him and put him on top of this pedestal, whereas, like, Lillian's the opposite. She sees his bullshit for what it is, and because Maddie doesn't seem to realize that Rick basically used her from the start, considering how far back they go. I'm sure Maddie might have been, like, more promising than him, and he's like, get me in, you know. I can barely remember if he, like, used her to get into the soap opera too, but he probably did.
I don't know if they say that, but possibly.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Where
This is this is related to Maddie, but not related quite to the topic. But I thought it was very strange that Maddie Jensen, who is supposed to be this, like, famous actress, had to sublet an apartment.
I was about to say.
So I mean, I have a lot to say about this as well, because can we just talk about how the fuck does
Yes.
Aunt Eloise afford this apartment? It's a
Exactly.
2-floor townhouse off of Central Park.
I made a list of possible ways she could have gotten this apartment. Here we go. Okay, so
Oh, please.
yeah, here we go. Okay, so Anne Eloise married the son or the grandson of Josiah Crowley. Number one. That's number one. Number two, she has a side hustle that involves gags and chains.
Okay.
Third one, she has an OnlyFans. And we have
This
yet
was 1999.
well, what came before OnlyFans?
I don't know.
Is it for-
Craigslist.
Yep.
Oh God.
I don't know. I'm going with it.
I just always assumed that Aunt Eloise had generational Drew wealth. Because
I mean, look at her house.
I'm pretty sure the Drews are loaded. And
Yeah.
Aunt Eloise, she just works as a librarian just for something to do. But she low-key has like millions of dollars in the bank.
I mean, Nancy, she takes the taxi like to go left, right, all around New York. Like,
Oh my God, the taxi bill.
there's no questions. This family is rich.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dad.
for sure.
And is Aunt? This is a dumb question on Aunt Eloise, even though she doesn't really pertain to this. Is Aunt Eloise like a great aunt, or is she like?
I believe she's Carson's sister. I think she's
Oh.
an aunt.
I think of her as a lot older, like a crotchety old librarian, like with money.
Not because of her house in Florida. Do not get fooled about by the house in Florida.
That
Oh,
interior.
there it is. There it is. Because the house in New York is not that badly furnitured, decorated. I mean, it was still kind of. It has this old vibe,
90s.
but it is not. It is not as old as the house in Florida.
It's just
Similar decor style, I feel like.
grainy.
But
Yeah.
still, like the wallpaper wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it still came across maybe 40s, 50s, maybe a 40, 50-year-old person lives there. It could go there. The house in Florida, that's a 70, 80-year-old woman living there. I have one more thing to say about Maddie. So if you go through her file, she has this her resume with all the TV shows or movies she's been in. Well,
Mhm.
all the TV shows she's been in, and she has this skills section, and it had drama, dialects, gymnastics, stage fighting, firearms, skin diving, kickboxing, ninja throwing stars.
She does it all.
She's good with children and animals, kite flying, and lizard wrangling. I mean, this woman, has she acted in Crocodile Dundee or some shit? Where she had to learn all of this? But
She's a Mary Sue.
yeah,
She's a Mary Sue.
she's the next teenage detective, is what it is.
But
Yeah,
for like
I
a
guess
30-year-old
so.
woman.
They had lost opportunity when Dwayne was revealed to be the villain and all of this. They lost an opportunity to have Maddie there and throwing ninja stars at Dwayne.
Yes.
Just saying, show her having some skills, and show her like being badass.
I want to see her do a cartwheel and then throw a ninja star at the end while wrangling lizards.
You know,
Yes.
if this had happened, this game would have skyrocketed right in the top 10 of most people's list. I guarantee you, they lost an opportunity there. Yeah.
All right. Oh my god, who should I move on to? Let's talk about our main man, Rick Arlen. He is the co-star in Light of Our Love. He is breaking his contract to transfer to films. He's a ladies' man, as we said. You know, he's got dead flowers, chocolates, bombs, and a broken watch. You know, living the dream. Rick Arlen, the dick.
So, Rick Arlen, he is the reason why people started the hashtag #MeToo movement.
Fuck.
He should reevaluate how he talks to teenage girls and fast before
God,
he
yes.
becomes the poster child for that movement.
I will say she is 18 in this game, but still.
Yeah, no.
But no.
Even if you're 18,
Yeah,
that's
no.
still so young. That's like 18 is like, I don't even consider 18 to be an adult, even though that's the legal adult age.
Yeah.
Here. Like if you're 18, you're basically a teenager. So I don't know how old Rick and Maddie are supposed to be. I'm assuming 30s or older.
Exactly.
So it's creepy. He
It's
shouldn't be
creepy.
doing it.
Technically, isn't a teenager like up until 19? Because
Technically.
18 teen?
Legally, it's 18 here, but in my opinion, yeah, I don't think you're an adult until 21.
I
but
didn't feel like an adult at 18, and I still
Not
don't
at
at
all.
26.
So here I have a list of all the things that Rick said that should
Oh my god.
that should put him in jail.
Please share.
Hello, gorgeous. Where have you been all my life?
Oh,
No. Hiding from you.
I've always been a lucky guy. I just met you, Miss Drew. Admit it, you find me irresistible, don't you, Nancy?
ew.
And he would end whatever he says with stay beautiful. And last but not least, because he should definitely go to jail for this. I see you can't get enough of me. Do I drive you wild?
No.
Yes, I remember that one, and I gagged. That was probably the most inappropriate thing he ever said to Nancy.
I mean, is there anything else we need to say about Rick? This guy needs to be put behind bars. Period. Call the FBI. Someone call the authorities here.
I will say that Rick is a terrible actor. Like,
Yep.
if you listen to like that scene where you see them filming Light of Our Love, he sucks at acting. So I'm not sure how he's even getting movie deals because, oh my god, I don't want to see you, Serena. I don't want to see you, Serena.
Maybe Dwayne was right. Maybe Dwayne was right. Maybe it's his beautiful,
No talent.
good looks. It's the good
It's being a
looks.
conventionally attractive white man is what it is.
I literally wrote down full of him, couldn't care less about him. Like, I literally did not want to help him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember his file. Have we found his file in the office? Because if there is indeed a resume from him, all in the skills, all it would say is knows how to look at themselves in the mirror.
There
Or
is a
something like
resume
that.
for him. I do not remember what it says. I believe that you find out that his name is not actually Rick Arlen, that he changed it. And
oh my god. Yeah.
I don't know, there's a bit of I'm not sure what to call it because I believe his last name is like it sounded like Polish or something to me, which has its own implications of like him like anglicizing his name to, fit in Hollywood and stuff, but I don't remember what exactly it was, but it was like something Kowski.
Well, it says that extended family, his aunt is Mimi Arbertuski.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Arbertuski.
he changed his name to Arlen from that. I guess because it didn't sound cool enough. But I just thought it was interesting that he had like kind of a foreign sounding last name. So
Oh yeah, now that I see it in his history. It says that his real last name is Arbertuski.
Yeah,
Okay.
Richard Arbertuski. Or Tusky.
Arbertuski. Sorry if we
Oh,
missed.
they have his age listed as middle-aged.
oh ew. That's even worse.
I don't know if they mean like 40s as middle-aged, but
Yeah, that's even worse. If he's like in his 40s hitting on an 18-year-old, ick.
Well,
perhaps-
even if he's 30, no.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah,
he's 30.
any
Yeah.
age that is above Nancy's age makes it bad. But
Yeah, and also we can't forget about the fact that he's a star. Well, quote unquote star, and she's just a young girl who's not
Yeah.
even in the
Yeah.
entertainment industry. It's like, no.
Yeah.
So, he actually, to make Rick even worse and more of a awful of himself, he was actually sending the first notes to himself out of vanity and signing them with BT Kaiser, which was an anagram of his real name, Arbertusky.
Oh, I missed that detail too. That's very interesting.
I missed a lot of
Nancy
details.
Drew Wiki
Yeah.
for the win.
Yes,
Yeah.
can you tell that we were bored and drunk? Can you tell?
Yeah. What bothers me is that they wrote that Nancy finds him cute.
No.
When is that? I feel like that is not made obvious in the game because Nancy's like very
No.
sarcastic to him.
Yeah, she did speak to Lillian though. She was like, so Rick is acting like that with me. Should I take this seriously? And I wanted to shake Nancy. It's like, Nancy, come on, please, girl. Don't
Assume that she was
fall.
trying to like get the dirt on the situation and was kind of like playing innocent with Lillian, being like, "Oh, you know, Rick's flirting with me," and to see how Lillian would react. But
I hope so.
All right, let's talk about Lillian. Bad boss Lillian.
Lillian, please stop. Yeah, you're so mean. What have I done to you?
She is described as the cranky director of Light of Our Love. She is one of the hearts that Rick has broken. She seems very angry about it. She kind of just she's also the one who like sent him the poison chocolates and the angry love poem, but she still does kind of care for him, but she does believe that he used her to advance his career, which makes sense considering the boy can't act.
yeah, I mean, Lillian is basically just that stereotypical like jaded bitch because like, you know, some dude broke her heart and she's like just bitter about it and never gets over it and just takes it out on everyone around her. So,
She also kicks out Nancy.
yeah, like she's just rude to Nancy for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be implied that Lillian is just bitter because of what Rick did to her, and that's turned her into a mean, crotchety old like witch, basically. And I don't know. I mean, that's really all there is to her. Like she's just mean all the time.
Yeah, there's not much to her. She has an interesting haircut, blue blazer, white shirt. I don't know. She lives in her office.
Yeah. I mean she gets a good ending. She gets to become like a film director or something in LA,
Yeah.
and I hope that she became less mean. But yeah, I don't know. Not much to say about Lillian.
There really
honestly.
Well, it
isn't.
is the film industry. Do anybody get softer working in there? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think we have much to say about Lillian other than very cranky.
Yeah.
All right, so then we have William Bill Pappas. He is the elderly producer of Light of Our Love, and Rick broke a deal with him. So the theory is, could he be sending threats for revenge, as per the typical plot? So he's just kind of an angry old man. We don't really know much about him.
Have we ever seen this guy? We have.
No.
No, but he's considered one of the culprits.
He is, and I think that it's a shame that we didn't get to see him because the fact that you actually can accuse Bill Pappas at the end of the game, you can say that you think Bill Pappas did it. It's kind of a shame that we don't get to see him. This was a thing in the last game, Secrets Can Kill as well, where there's, you know, suspects where we don't actually meet them, and I don't like when the Nancy Drew games do that. I think
Mm-hmm.
Bill Pappas should have been somebody we could have talked to in person for him to be such a major suspect.
Exactly. There's not much to go off about him because of that, other than
Yeah.
Rick kind of fucking him over a little bit. We also have the random character of Owen W. Spader.
Who is he again?
He's the mysterious stagehand that always seems to be on set when accidents and threats appear, yet you never are able to come face to face with him. He's recently been employed by Dwayne Powers Agency. That is all he is there for, but yet he has a full-on name.
He does. And spoiler alert, everybody, Owen Spader is Dwayne Powers. Owen Spader is an anagram for Dwayne Powers.
Mm-hmm.
Is Dwayne the one who sent us the clock at Maddie's house? There was this box with a clock
Yes,
on
I
it.
believe that was him.
Oh, that is so nice of him.
Wasn't it smashed though? Or
Wow.
no, it like goes
It
off or
is,
something.
yeah, yeah, it is a functional clock. So thank you. I forgive you. We love having free stuff.
There's not much to go off of other than that's just Dwayne. Oh my god, I almost forgot my favorite character, Millie Stratahorn. Millie Stratahorn, the prop master at the studio.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you why this is your favorite character?
She's quirky
Okay, well, in the whole franchise or in this game?
in this game.
Okay, I was kind of scared just now.
I just think
say-
she's really quirky and she is just far out there, and sometimes you just need that really quirky character to break the, like, I don't know, the other characters up a little bit.
I did not like Millie. I found her pretty annoying. I thought her voice was really annoying, and I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't on board with Millie.
I just thought she was so funny because the voice was so bad and just
Oh, it was so
I mean,
bad.
I'm easily entertained by dumb things. So the fact that she's the Riddler is funny too. Like, she gives us riddles. I find her character as a whole just like funny that it exists because she's also the founder and owner of the studio. Yet she's in the prop room.
Well, see, I think that it feels like that the network was like, well, Millie's kind of starting to lose it up there. But she's the owner of the company and we've got to let her do something. So like, we'll have her work in the prop room and stay out of our way.
Yeah, a fun fact is that Lonnie Manella actually voices Millie.
Okay.
So Nancy is Millie.
Honestly, though, I have no thoughts about Millie.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I never suspected her for a second as being the one who was doing all of this. So,
Yeah, she's just kind of there. I would say my favorite character. Okay, let's talk about our favorite character. Let's talk about the cab driver.
You skipped Ralph Gardino though.
don't
Security
disrespect
guard
my
Ralph.
man like this.
That's my other favorite. I like the characters that don't matter to the plot.
You know what? You are absolutely right. The way he tackled Dwayne at the end was iconic. So,
Yes.
you know what? He is up there.
Ralph is the
Captain.
only good person in this
Literally.
game. Ralph is just a national treasure. I love him. He is great.
I was like very scared that Ralph was Bill Pappas.
He's related, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. He's
really?
Bill Pappas's son-in-law or something, right?
Cousin-in-law
Cousin-in-law.
is, yeah.
Right, I forgot about that.
His enemy is Dwayne Powers.
Really? Did it say why? He just hates Dwayne?
It just says his enemy is Dwayne Powers in the social information on the Nancy Drew wiki.
Oh, I must have missed something. I have no idea why they would say that. I don't think Ralph ever talks about Dwayne.
Honestly, I like him more than Millie, but I just like the characters who have nothing to do with the plot in this because the plot's just like,
Yeah.
all right. But I love his last name, Gardino.
Gardino. He has
His
guard in his name.
He's also the only character in the entire series to have fully animated character model and to appear
Wow.
regularly throughout the game
Wow.
and not considered a suspect.
Good for Ralph. He's a trailblazer.
All right, now we can get to the pièce de résistance. Cab drivers.
I will give him props. He gets Nancy anywhere she needs to in the fastest period of time. He must be the best cab driver in the whole New York City. So props to him.
Which one?
Well, all of them, they work as one. They are cab driver.
They are all the cab
They are
driver.
Cab
It
drivers.
is, if you have played Mass Effect, it's basically Legion. They are cab driver.
Oh my God, you got me snorting over here.
I will say though, there's one taxi driver which offended me deeply, and that is the one with the god-awful Indian accent. I have in my notes that the this particular taxi driver's voice is a hate crime. I felt personally attacked as an Indian person having to hear this accent. Her interactive, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
This is that has to be like one of the most offensive. Well, not the most offensive. It has to be up there on the list, one of the most offensive shit you guys have ever done. Because why would you think this was okay? Yeah, just hate it. I wish that they would like patch it out or something because I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I literally have cab drivers offensive, like written.
Yeah.
Like the Bronx guy or whatever, he's funny.
Yeah.
But I have the word offensive next to it at the same time.
Yeah.
In my notes, it's a cab driver, but slightly different. Cab driver with a pretty terrible accent. Cab driver, but I don't know if it's the same as cab driver 1. It's basically yes. So basically, they all meshed out to be just cab driver.
Yeah.
I don't even know who is who anymore.
Yeah.
They're all cab driver. But yeah,
Yeah.
there is. I think that the one with the terrible accent, it's her attractive. This is
Also the 90s.
where we all started here. When they have a meeting about a new Nancy Drew game, what are they looking for first? Okay, how many stereotypes can we fit in? Okay, the accents. Can you make it this accent, but like make it 100 times worse and 100 times more exaggerated? Thank you. Just to
Oh my God.
show that you're from that place.
We will certainly talk about this more when we get to the Shadow at the Water's Edge episode because there's a lot to say about those accents.
Don't even get me started. I was an Asian studies major in college. Don't even get me started.
Yes.
No, Jade. We need to keep all the good stuff for that episode.
All right. All right. And then just to touch a little bit on the phone conversations, I believe we could talk to Ned, Bess, and George.
Yes, we can call Bess, and I think she is with George. We can call Ned.
Ned, and these are all the old voice actors, so it's weird.
Yeah, so I actually have a note about this because I hated the voice actor for Ned in this game.
Right?
His voice was terrible in my opinion, and also like the flirting made me gag.
Oh my God, same.
Disgusting. Like the flirting between Ned and Nancy was some of the cringiest shit I've ever had to listen to because especially the part where Nancy's like, I would still love you even if you were hairless and toothless.
What?
Like
what?
How? I don't even. Just so cringe.
Okay, so I will say this. For Ned, it's a no, but I still like the voice. Maybe for something else, because I found the voice really soothing. It's just for the character, maybe not. But I wouldn't mind seeing or hearing the voice in something else, maybe more appropriate for that voice. Another role, maybe. But I didn't hate the voice. I actually liked it. It was really soothing. For some reason, my ears was like, okay, well, I like it. It's flowing well. He has a good intonation and everything. But he sounded older. He sounded older than he should be. So maybe an older character, an older phone character, maybe. Not Ned, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. I didn't hate the voice.
There's not much to say about the phone conversations other than that they exist and they are the older voices. I can't remember if it's the other George.
George, I'm glad you got rid of George. Get her out of me.
And then Bess was weird, but it's just startling after playing and having the same voices for so long and then going back.
I will also say that the phone conversation with Ned is probably the most enthusiastic that Nancy is towards Ned. She's like, I miss you so much and I love you. And
Yeah.
Nancy never acts like that in the other games. So that's interesting too. This seems to be like the happiest she ever was with Ned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was until Frank showed up
Yeah.
and ruined everything. I'm kidding.
I disagree with that statement. I totally don't ship Nancy with yeah, Frank. Yep.
Hold on, Jade. Did you just introduce us our another podcast episode idea? The ship wars between us.
Maybe. Maybe. I will admit they did date in the books.
Yes, they did.
It's canon.
Do we have any more characters to go through?
No, that is all of our characters. So we can actually
Okay.
move on to environment, gameplay, puzzles, music, all of that shebang.
You know, we cannot be talking about Stay Tuned for Danger without talking about the Photoshop photos.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you brought it up. Yeah, it's awful. It's really funny to look at because it's so bad. But
I rate the Photoshop Rick Arlen out of 10.
I couldn't agree more, but this is also the first time that we're getting 3D characters considering the previous game. I would like to point out that the lip flaps are horrible, but I can't complain because it's the 90s. So what am I gonna do?
yeah, the animation is pretty bad. I
Yeah.
had in my notes that both Maddie and Ralph look like animatronics. The way they both kind of
Yes.
move around is really unnatural. They look like robots or like those things you see at a Chuck E. Cheese.
I literally have lip flaps written in my notes. I'm like, we need to talk about the lip flaps.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad and pretty distracting, honestly.
It's like good for them for trying. Like they
Yeah.
tried. It is the 90s, and after their first game having the 2D characters within a 3D, that this is their first time doing the 3D characters. They're good for what they are. They at least look human. That's all we can ask for is that they look human, but those lip flaps just I can't. I literally cannot remember, like, my ADHD is just like, I can't remember if the hands moved at all or if they sat still.
They make gestures sometimes. Like
They
at least
do.
Maddie makes gestures at times, which are also very awkward.
That's what I thought. I'm like, my memory's like, they make gestures, but for the most part, they're sitting still, which, I mean, for the time period, I guess we can't complain
Yeah, they
too
tried.
much. They tried, and that's pretty much kind of the only animation we get is with the
Yeah.
characters.
I saw that they had a lot more locations than the previous
Yes.
game. I appreciated that. They had all these different rooms, these different passages. So it was really a big step up from the previous game. I think that they were going the right direction with that. I mean, I've never had a bad thing to say about any of the art locations. They're all good, to be honest. But it is, of course, the 3D character animation that they really needed to
Stands
work
out.
on. And yeah, they got their footing there. This is where it first started. And it will take a few more games maybe to get the hang of it
Yeah.
and make it not look so creepy. So
Yeah.
animatronics, but I really appreciated that now they were like, okay, so it is time to try out something new. It
Mhm.
is time to make it 3D art.
Yeah, the characters are like more set into their environment compared to the first one. Not that I had any issues with the 2D, because that was easier to animate at the time. So you got to have mad respect for them trying, considering not many. Like it was real. blocky still within the animation for at least video games. Hard to compare it to anything else during that time, considering I'm pretty sure Toy Story was already out. But the environment definitely is larger and there's more to do, and I feel like it's easier to navigate than our first one as well. Like they actually like thought it out a little bit better, and there's like more rooms you could go into too, which is nice. But you kind of really only have the TV set, Dwayne's office, and the apartment?
Yes.
So it's still 3 locations.
Why was Dwayne's office in this like dirty building? I
'Cause it's
mean,
Dwayne.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to show that Dwayne is not really doing very well. Like we see all these overdue
Yeah.
bills in his office, and yeah, I think it's just supposed to show that
oh,
he's just not really doing well financially and his business is failing, so he's in this like dingy apartment building, and you'll see a ton of unpaid bills and like debts and stuff in his office. So yeah, I think it's just supposed to be to show that.
Yeah.
it makes sense, and we now pretty much got a good look on how Dwayne is maybe one of the most potential guilty character.
Yeah, I think he has the strongest motive out
Mhm.
of the characters.
And nothing brings out the worst than being in a bad financial situation, the
Yeah.
bitterness that comes out of it.
Yeah, especially, like, looking into his office, seeing where he's located, seeing all the overdue bills. It, like, helps kinda solidify that whole plot line for him when you add in the environment and, like, the things around him.
I have a fun fact about
Ooh.
Aunt Eloise slash Maddie's apartment. So there is a locked drawer in the roll top desk in the apartment, which you cannot open because the programmers forgot to put the key in the game. So there was a drawer in that desk that was meant to have a clue in it, but you can't ever open that drawer because there's no key for it.
That's funny. I
Yeah.
like that.
Did the programmers ever say what the clue was?
No, I don't think it's something that's super relevant, but they just forgot to make a key, so you just can't ever open that drawer.
I guess we
Iconic.
forgot to code in the key for the drawer. Well, too late now.
Yeah.
We shall never know what's inside that drawer, and it will haunt us forever.
Does anybody have retained anything about gameplay and puzzles? This is the one area where I absolutely passed out during.
I don't know. I have written down like a lot of basic puzzles, like the flipping and matching.
Yeah.
There's a piano puzzle, like music notes. So we have that for I think the first time, and then I think this is our first clock puzzle, like the big grand clock staple of Nancy Drew.
I feel like in this game, I felt that there were not a lot of puzzles until the end. Like, it really picks up towards the end of the game. There were some little challenges, which I don't
Mhm.
really consider puzzles. And, but one thing I will say about the gameplay is I thought it was a little annoying that you can break the game if you don't grab the pliers at the right time. So, basically, if you don't take the pliers from the prop room before, I think the second day, before you see the bomb in Rick's room, you will like never be able to proceed in the game, and
Oh.
you'll basically have to start over because once you go into Rick's dressing room, you are basically stuck in there. And so it's I don't know, it's like there's a few of those things in HDU games where you can break the game by doing things in the wrong order, and I thought that was
Yeah.
annoying because players might not know they need to grab those pliers. So, and the other thing I had is that I've noticed that every time they have a Tower of Hanoi puzzle in a Nancy Drew game, it just never makes sense. Like, there's a Tower of Hanoi puzzle in the prop room, but to me, I'm like, why can't you just pick up all the rings and put them down? Like, I know that's not what a Tower of Hanoi puzzle is, but the way they have it and what it's supposed to accomplish, it doesn't make sense for it to be there. So I don't know. That just kind of bothered me.
Yeah, I had that down as like one of the like basic puzzles where I was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like, why is this a thing? I also have so like to go off of like the pliers thing is when you walk into his room and the bomb happens. Why is it that every time you have to unscrew the screws on the tape recorder, it goes back into your inventory?
Oh my god. Yeah, that I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that is also very
A
annoying.
very little detail, but I noticed it and I got very angry. I was like, that would piss me off. Because you have suspenseful music going on the minute you walk in there, and you have to grab the screwdriver 4 times.
Also, like, how are we supposed to know which chord to cut?
Magic.
I think you just have to guess because I'm not sure how you're supposed to solve that puzzle. I honestly don't remember, but
Neither do I.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, yes, we get it. Nancy can disarm bombs. We get it. She can do everything. Okay.
She's Mary Sue. What?
Like
Yeah.
I would have learned how to disarm bombs if people made tutorials for YouTube about it, but nobody does.
say the end game puzzle is insane.
Oh, yeah.
It's so basically what it is when Dwayne attacks you, you have to try to open the doors of the set. Well, first you have to pull the fire alarm. So the fire alarm is going off, and you have to do this puzzle, which is basically a puzzle that you see in a lot of Nancy Drew games, which is you randomly click to guess the correct sequence, and it's different every time. And oh my god, what a sensory nightmare. There's this alarm just blaring, and you're having to keep clicking. I don't know I don't know who thought of this. It's a nightmare.
To be honest, this whole game has been full of sensory nightmares.
Yeah, like that intercom at Dwayne's.
Especially if you have in terms of audio sensory issues, this game is not for you. There is a lot of sounds in this game, just like on top of stressful music, but like just alarms, and people who are like, hurry up, Nancy. There's a lot going on. So if you have a problem with sensory issues, you might want to stay clear of this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad they kind of fixed it. They toned it down in the future games, but that game was on crack.
Yeah. That
You know, it's like they tried to do too much and they toned it down in later games for sure, but this one is just very chaotic.
Yeah, I don't do well under high stress. The minute suspenseful music comes on, I'm like, ah, fuck. Oh no, what's going on? Where should I be? What am I doing?
I was in this situation and I had Lillian be like, hurry up, Nancy. I would turn around and I'd be like, bitch, you do it yourself then.
You do it then.
I'll be in the corner drinking. You take care of it.
Oh yeah, she does show up at the end. Why? I can't
Yeah.
remember why she shows up at the end.
She calls you and says,
That's right.
so she figures out that it's Dwayne before Nancy does because she calls you and she says, like, can you come to set? I think I know what's going on. And that's when you can talk to her and you can accuse someone. And she'll be like, wait, no, I thought it was Dwayne. So you find out that Lillian has been doing her own investigation as well and figures
That's
it out
right.
before Nancy does.
The fact that she's here, she's like useless. One note I wanted to point out before we go where I wanted to go is that Dwayne knows how to make a dramatic entrance. When she said, I think it is, then everything fades to black and he says in the intercom,
I
Dwayne.
forgot about that.
Yeah, and what is it, Dwayne Johnson?
Dwayne Powers.
Dwayne
Dwayne
Powers.
Johnson.
I'm so sorry. I
Don't
am
slander the Rock like this.
very.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson's in the window. He's staring down at you.
I will not edit this out. I'm so sorry. I am so tipsy right now.
Sarah, please make this the clip you post on social media.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, So basically, Face to Black, and he said Dwayne Powers in the intercom, and then you see him upstairs in the window with his hands on his hips, and he just looks so cool. I'm like, you know what? You know how to make a dramatic entrance. Maybe the show business is for you. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Okay, so where I was going is that if you do fail to open the door, he comes towards you and just keeps walking, and there's this
Yes.
light, this red light against him. And it's not just 1 second, he just comes slowly towards you. And it's so freaking creepy. I don't know if any of the other games are creepy as well. They are creepy as well, but maybe not as creepy as Dwayne.
Isn't his fingers like twitching? Like
Yeah, I mean, you basically it fades to black as he's moving to choke you.
very slowly with fingers twitching.
Yeah, you slowly see them come up, and yeah, it is very creepy. I agree.
I want to ask Miss Lillian over here, why didn't she come to fight him with us?
She doesn't have ninja stars.
Two people against Dwayne? I mean, yes, he's a dude, but we're two women. We're badass. We could have taken him out. But apparently, she just stays right here and be like, well, Nancy, you fucked up. He's gonna kill us. Good job.
You gotta give
Yeah.
Ralph his shining moment. That's
No,
why.
we gotta give Maddie her shining moment with her ninja,
ninja
throwing stars.
And her lizard wrangling or whatever. Send in the
Yeah.
lizards.
It should have been Maddie.
This is the scene where they could have done the backflip with the ninja stars and
Oh my gosh, like those backflips from the movie Bring It On. She just comes at him doing the backflips and then lands on his head.
Oh man.
That would have been so good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's because Nancy tells Lillian to hide. So was she? I don't know if she's hiding or if she somehow escapes. But
maybe she goes and gets Ralph.
maybe she does.
Or maybe she went to go get a latte and just watch us do the whole work.
I'd like to give her
Yeah,
more
maybe.
credit. She's just sitting there and latte sipping behind a corner going, ooh, look at those fingers. As Dwayne The Rock Johnson says, do you smell what I'm cooking?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Dwayne Powers. Oh my god. The one time that line would work. Him standing over just going, do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
So, do we have anything to say about music?
Other than suspenseful music, got nothing.
I liked the suspenseful music. I did not like the beginning of the game music. I thought it was boring. Most of the ambient music I found to be pretty boring. So I
Yeah.
really didn't have much to say about it. I wasn't really a fan overall.
That's why I only mentioned it for the suspenseful stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, right now, maybe this is the alcohol, but I only remember the music from Aunt Eloise's house in Florida.
It's pretty similar to that, the background music at the beginning of the game. It's like I didn't like it. It's pretty boring.
Me too, but this is the only music I can remember right now. I guess I didn't really have anything to say about music.
That's okay. There's really not much to say, in my opinion.
Not in these two games. There's not really much in the beginning music. I guess I would move us on to our overall final impression and rating.
You weren't here for the ratings of the first episode, Nikki.
I was not.
Yeah, so basically we give a score out of 10 for the game in question.
Okay.
And any other things that you want to say? Any
Yes.
other final impressions and overall feeling about it.
Your conclusion, basically.
Sounds good.
Okay, do you want to go first, Jade?
What I have written is very short, very sweet, but I can elaborate. As I have 3 out of 10 fun but not memorable. Maybe a 3.5 on a good day. Honestly, it's good, but it's really not my favorite. It is. I do remember it better than I remember the first one. And a
Wait,
couple
didn't you give 3 the first game though? Wait, who?
Yes.
Or was it? Okay.
I gave it a 3 or a 4. I think I gave the remake a higher score because I've only played the remake, so technically I ain't got much. This one I do own on CD, or DVD, or CD. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't played the game. Okay, I did play the game.
I have played.
I played the game halfway there. No, not even halfway there, like a quarter there. And I was like in bed with Fisher, and he slept right next to me, and I was like, Fisher, wake up. I need your help. Like, I need your, I don't know what to do. Like, I need your help. And he was like, no, leave me alone. And I was like, okay, fine, I give up. And that's how that's my story with Stay Tuned for Danger.
Yeah, the last time I played it is probably when I got the game, which would have been when my best friend from high school found it for me because she knew I was obsessed with Nancy Drew. So she actually was trying to hunt down, because I had all of the games from 3 up, and she was trying to hunt down 1 and 2 for me, but could only find 2. That's a real MVP right there.
Oh yeah, can she be my friend?
She lives in Florida. She can get you into Disney.
Oh nice. Can she? Oh man, give me her number. I want to be her friend.
She goes to Disney like every week, I swear.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's all go to Jade's friends.
Yeah, she'd probably be cool with that. It'd be a break from her kids.
Yeah.
But she found it for me, I think, for either Christmas or my birthday, and I think that's the only time I've played it, and the other times I've only watched. So I don't really remember if I beat it. I probably did, but I probably cheated halfway through with a walkthrough. I'm gonna admit it.
Honestly, though, I did watch someone play it, a video. I didn't finish the game, and to be honest, I think it is a missed opportunity, the whole game. The premise is very interesting. It is in New York. It is about a TV show, a soap opera. Someone's trying to kill an actor. There's a lot of drama. There is a lot of shade. There is a lot of jealousy. I mean, it is all the formula for a good soap opera over here. And they could have made it more interesting, made it more captivating. But in my opinion, there was some characters had more spotlight, but overall, it's it feels like in all the aspects, it was close but not there. In terms of puzzles, especially the puzzles, I can't remember any single one of them. They were there, but they were nothing that really retained my attention. Maybe the gameplay was there, but it's like at least they did something better than the first game. At least the puzzles were better, so I will definitely give it a score better than Secrets Can Kill. The characters, they had more going on, but I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunity. There's not enough about them. They were more exaggerated, but you barely talk to each. If you think about it, you only talk to them once or twice, and that's it. You could finish the game. If you think about it.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it is still the second game, but it is not fully there. I would have to say if you want something really well-rounded, you would stick around for game number 3. But yeah, this is basically A plus for effort, but you can do better than this.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it Hey, it's Tina from editing. So initially during recording, I gave the game a 4 out of 10, which is not what I meant to do. I meant to give it a 5 out of 10, which is a bigger score than Secrets Can Kill original. I was tipsy beyond belief and my brain wasn't functioning, so I learned my lesson. I will be keeping notes, better notes for next times. But yeah, back to the show. It's not the worst, but they did try, but they didn't impress me that much.
Yeah, that's why I just gave it like a 3.5.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same as you, Tina. I think that the premise of this game was really fun. I really like the story, kind of having this soap opera type of plot with, death threats and stuff like that. It's a really interesting premise for a game, but I think I feel similarly to how I felt about the last game is really interesting premise for a game, but the game itself just kind of fell flat for me and it wasn't as fun as I think it could have been. The character models are definitely outdated. They move really awkwardly, but this was 1999, so I feel like I could probably give them a pass for that. And in my opinion, there just weren't enough puzzles. I wish that there had been more to do. I think that throughout the game, there's these little challenges that you have to solve, but I wish there had been more real puzzles to solve. So I think I would give it a 5.5 out of 10 because I did enjoy this one more than Secrets Can Kill, but only slightly more. So yeah.
Oh yeah, while you're here, since you haven't said your ratings for Secrets Can Kill in the last episode, do you mind sharing real quick what is your rating for Secrets Can Kill in this episode?
Yeah, sure. So for Secrets Can Kill, I would actually rate the original higher than the remaster, and the reason for that is there's something charming about the original for me. I like the animated characters. I think the plot is really interesting, although I do feel that they could have done a lot more with it. The remaster, I don't like what they did to the characters. They kind of stripped some of the personality out of them. I think that, I don't like the way that the new remastered characters look. Like, Daryl looks way worse in the remaster than the original.
We did touch on that, yeah.
Connie looks like a gym teacher and not a high school student. And I don't like Hulk's voice in the new one at all. So, yeah, I think I enjoyed the original more.
Is it different?
But yeah, it's different.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
So I would say 5 for the original and 3 for the remaster.
Thank you for joining us today, listening to the podcast of The Real Housewives of River Heights. You can find us on social media, such as Instagram at Real Housewives of River Heights, and on Twitter at RHO River Heights. You can listen to The Real Housewives of River Heights on any of your streaming podcast services, such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And you can feel free to follow some of our socials. Links are in our link tree. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, my dogs.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hi, it's Sida from editing again. We forgot to mention a couple of things. If you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. And if you're listening on any other podcast platform, don't forget to give us a follow. And last but not least, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to give us a rating. We really appreciate the feedback. And we also have some bloopers, so please enjoy.
And today we're going to be talking about Nancy Drew. Stay tuned for Danger? What?
Stay tuned for Danger, yes.
Okay, do you want to restart that? You want to restart the sentence?
Keep it in. All right, and
Are you
today.
Are you sure you have? Are you sure you didn't drink?
No, it's just anxiety.
What a mood.
Oh my god, I need alcohol. I don't have any because my mom doesn't drink. All right, sorry, I'm grabbing putty to redo that line. Oh my gosh! All right, 3, 2, 1. And today we're going to be talking about Nancy Drew. Stay tuned to danger.
You still messed
Stay
it.
tuned for
up.
danger.
What is it? Because I have written down the wrong thing.
Stay tuned for danger.
It is 4. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense in my brain. My ADHD's in full front today, just so
Do
you
you
know.
put this in like the blooper cut or something?
There needs to be a blooper reel of me